Tonight we are entering one group from the 2026 FIFA World Cup. 4 countries, 4 flags, 4 different cultures, and 4 different football stories meeting in the same group. In this video, we will travel calmly through the countries of this group. We will not only look at the teams, we will look at the countries behind them, their cities, their food, their traditions, their famous places, their football history, and the important players who will carry their hopes onto the pitch. Because in the World Cup, every match is more than a score. Every country arrives with memory, identity, culture, and millions of people watching from home. So take a slow breath, relax your shoulders, and let's begin our quiet journey through this World Cup group. Belgium is a small country in Western Europe, but its history, culture, food, cities, and football identity feel much larger than its size. It sits between France, the Netherlands, Germany, and Luxembourg, and it carries different languages, regions, and traditions inside one national story. Its capital is Brussels, a city of politics, old squares, cafes, chocolate shops, and European institutions. But Belgium is also known through Bruges, with its canals and medieval streets, Ghent with its old towers and student energy, Antwerp with its port and fashion culture, and the Grand Place, one of the most beautiful historic squares in Europe. To understand Belgium, you have to imagine more than stadiums. You have to imagine waffles covered with sugar, Belgian chocolate made with care, fries served hot and crisp, mussels, speculoos, biscuits, and a deep beer culture connected to local history and tradition. You have to imagine medieval town centers, stone buildings, quiet canals, old churches, market squares, and cafes where food, conversation, and football can all belong to the same afternoon. Belgium feels like a country of detail. It is multilingual, with Dutch, French, and German all part of its identity. It is small but complex, historic but modern, calm on the surface but full of strong local pride. This is the culture Belgium brings to the World Cup. Football in Belgium is technical, intelligent, and shaped by generations of talented players. The national team is known as the Red Devils, a name that carries energy, danger, and a feeling of attacking football. For many years, Belgium has been famous for producing players with close control, creativity, passing quality, and tactical intelligence. Belgium's modern football story is also connected to its golden generation. Players like Eden Hazard, Vincent Kompany, Jan Vertonghen, Toby Alderweireld, Moussa Dembélé, Axel Witsel, Kevin De Bruyne, Thibaut Courtois, and Romelu Lukaku helped make Belgium one of the most respected teams in world football. In 2018, Belgium finished third at the World Cup, one of the greatest achievements in the country's football history. And now, in 2026, Belgium arrives with old memories and new questions. Kevin De Bruyne remains one of the great creative players of his generation, a midfielder known for vision, passing, timing, and control. Romelu Lukaku carries goal-scoring history and physical power in attack. Thibaut Courtois gives the team experience and world-class presence in goal. Jeremy Doku brings speed, dribbling, and unpredictability on the wing. Yuri Tielemans adds leadership, technique, and midfield balance. Leandro Trossard brings intelligence and finishing, while Amadou Onana gives strength, height, and energy. Charles de Ketelaere represents another creative attacking option for the future. Belgium's challenge is emotional. It is no longer only about the golden generation. It is about transition, renewal, and finding a new rhythm while still carrying the weight of expectation. In 2026, Belgium arrives as a team with talent, experience, and technical quality. It may be small on the map, but in football, Belgium has learned how to stand among bigger nations. So when Belgium steps onto the pitch, remember this: you are not only watching 11 players, you are watching a small multilingual country of waffles, chocolate, medieval cities, beer culture, technical footballers, golden generation memories, and the Red Devils trying to write one more chapter on the world stage. And now we move to another story from this group: a different flag, a different culture, a different football rhythm, another country, carrying its own history, its own flavors, its own places, and its own dream. Let's continue. Iran is a country in Western Asia, a place of mountains, deserts, poetry, ancient cities, deep traditions, and one of the strongest football identities in Asia. Its capital is Tehran, a large city sitting near the Alborz Mountains, full of traffic, energy, history, and modern life. But Iran is also known through Isfahan, with its blue-tiled mosques and grand squares, Shiraz with its gardens and poetry, Persepolis with the ruins of ancient Persia, Yazd with its desert architecture and mountain landscapes that give the country a powerful natural presence. To understand Iran, you have to imagine more than stadiums. You have to imagine kebabs cooked over fire, gourmet sabzi with herbs and slow flavor, fisanjan with pomegranate and walnuts, crispy tadig at the bottom of the rice pot, saffron rice and Persian tea served with patience and warmth. You have to imagine old bazaars, courtyards, carpets, calligraphy, domes, poetry, desert cities, snowy peaks, and families gathering around food and conversation. Iran feels like a country of memory and depth. Its culture carries ancient Persian civilization, Islamic architecture, literature, music, hospitality, and the words of poets like Hafez and Rumi. It is a place where history is not only behind glass, it is visible in buildings, streets, language, and daily life. This is the culture Iran brings to the World Cup. Football in Iran is emotional, intense, and deeply connected to national pride. The national team is known as Team Melli, a name that simply means the national team, but carries enormous meaning for millions of Iranians. When Iran plays, the match reaches beyond the pitch. It becomes a moment of identity, memory, and shared attention. Iran has been one of Asia's most consistent football nations. It has reached multiple World Cups and has often been known for discipline, defensive strength, physical courage, and dangerous attacking moments. For Iran, the great World Cup dream has always been to go beyond the group stage and write a new chapter in the country's football history. And now, in 2026, there are important names carrying that hope. Mehdi Taremi is the leading attacking figure, a striker known for movement, intelligence, finishing, and European experience. Alireza Jahanbakhsh brings leadership, technique, and years of international experience. Sayed Izzatullahi gives the midfield strength, height, and control. Saman Ghoddos adds creativity and calm decision-making. Ehsan Hajsafi carries experience and memory from past tournaments, while Ramin Rezaeian brings energy and delivery from wide areas. Alireza Bayranvan gives the team a familiar presence in goal, and Ali Alipour adds another attacking option. Iran also carries the memory of legends like Ali Dai, Mehdi Mahdavikia, Ali Karimi, Karim Bagheri, and Kodadad Azizi. These names helped shape the country's football identity and gave Iranian fans moments that still live in national memory. In 2026, Iran arrives with experience, pressure, and emotion. It is a team carrying an old football culture and a difficult dream to turn Asian strength into World Cup progress. So when Iran steps onto the pitch, remember this. You are not only watching 11 players, you are watching a country of ancient Persia, poetry, mountains, bazaars, saffron rice, Persian tea, powerful football pride, and Team Melli carrying millions of hopes onto the world stage. And now we move to another story from this group. A different flag, a different culture, a different football rhythm, another country, carrying its own history, its own flavors, its own places, and its own dream. Let's continue. Egypt is a country in North Africa where desert, river life, ancient monuments, crowded cities, and football passion all meet inside one of the oldest national stories in the world. Its capital is Cairo, a city of movement, sound, traffic, history, and life beside the Nile River. Egypt is also known through the pyramids of Giza, Luxor, Aswan, Abu Simbel, the Egyptian Museum, and the long line of temples and tombs that connect the country to one of humanity's greatest ancient civilizations. To understand Egypt, you have to imagine more than stadiums. You have to imagine koshari served in busy streets, full madams in the morning, tamaya made with herbs and fried until crisp, malokia, mashi, and basbousa after a meal. You have to imagine boats moving slowly on the Nile, desert light around the pyramids, ancient columns in Luxor, markets in Cairo, and the warm sound of daily life continuing late into the night. Egypt feels like a country of memory. Its history is not hidden in museums only. It is visible in stone, in riverbanks, in old streets, in stories, in music, and in the way the country understands itself. The Nile gives Egypt rhythm. The desert gives it scale. The ancient monuments give it a feeling of time that few countries in the world can match. This is the culture Egypt brings to the World Cup. Football in Egypt is massive, emotional, and deeply connected to national identity. The national team is known as the Pharaohs, a name that links modern football to ancient history. When Egypt plays, it carries not only a team, but one of Africa's biggest football cultures. Egypt is the most successful country in Africa Cup of Nations history, with a tradition of winning, pressure, and expectation. But the World Cup has always been a more difficult story. Egypt has reached the tournament before, but it is still chasing the kind of World Cup moment that can live forever in national memory. And now, in 2026, there are important names carrying that hope. Mohamed Salah is the captain and the face of Egyptian football, a player known for speed, finishing, discipline, and years of greatness at the highest level. Omar Marmoush brings movement, confidence, and modern attacking quality. Mahmoud Trezeguet gives experience and direct danger. Ahmed Sayed Zizou adds creativity and delivery, while Imam Ashur brings energy and midfield intensity. At the back, Mohamed El Shanawi gives leadership and experience in goal. Mohamed Abdelmonem adds defensive strength and calmness, and Hamza Abdelkarim represents the future, a young attacking talent carrying excitement for the next generation. Egypt also remembers legends like Mohamed Abou Trika, Essam El Hadari, Hossam Hassan, and Mahmoud El Khatib, names that shaped the country's football identity across different eras. In 2026, Egypt arrives with pressure, belief, and a powerful dream to turn African greatness into World Cup progress. So when Egypt steps onto the pitch, remember this. You are not only watching 11 players, you are watching a country of pyramids, desert, the Nile, ancient civilization, famous food, massive football passion, and the pharaohs carrying millions of hopes onto the world stage. And now we move to another story from this group, a different flag, a different culture, a different football rhythm, another country, carrying its own history, its own flavors, its own places, and its own dream. Let's continue. New Zealand is an island country in the southwestern Pacific Ocean, a place of mountains, coastlines, green hills, deep forests, Maori culture, and a calm underdog spirit. It is made up mainly of two large islands, the North Island and the South Island, surrounded by wild ocean and dramatic natural beauty. Its largest city is Auckland, while Wellington is the capital, known for its harbor, wind, government buildings, and creative energy. New Zealand is also known through Queenstown, Rotorua, Milford Sound, Hobbiton, and the Southern Alps, where snow, lakes, and mountains create some of the most beautiful landscapes in the world. To understand New Zealand, you have to imagine more than stadiums. You have to imagine hangi, food cooked slowly underground in the Maori tradition, lamb, fresh seafood, pavlova, meat pies, and manuka honey. You have to imagine coastlines where the sea feels endless, quiet farms, steaming geothermal land in Rotorua, mountain roads near Queenstown, the calm water of Milford Sound, and the green fantasy world of Hobbiton. New Zealand feels like a country of nature and distance. It carries Maori heritage, Pacific identity, outdoor life, rugby culture, film landscapes, and a peaceful confidence that does not need to be loud. It is a country that often seems far from the center of the world, but that distance gives it a special kind of character. This is the culture New Zealand brings to the World Cup. Football in New Zealand has always lived beside other major sports, especially rugby, but the national team, known as the All Whites, carries its own proud football story. New Zealand football is built on teamwork, physical strength, discipline, and the calm belief that a small nation can still compete on the world stage. The country's World Cup history is rare but meaningful. New Zealand appeared in 1982 and then again in 2010, when the All Whites became one of the stories of the tournament by finishing unbeaten in the group stage. They did not reach the knockout rounds, but they left with pride, belief, and a memory that still belongs to New Zealand football. And now, in 2026, New Zealand returns to the World Cup after a long wait. Chris Wood is the captain and the emotional leader, a powerful striker, record goal scorer, and one of the most important players in the country's football history. Tommy Smith brings experience and a connection to the 2010 generation. Liberato Kakache adds energy and quality on the left side. Sarpret Singh brings creativity and technical ability in midfield. Joe Bell gives the team control and balance, while Marco Stamenik adds strength and modern midfield presence. Max Crocombe gives security in goal, and Tyler Binden represents a younger generation learning on the biggest stage. In 2026, New Zealand arrives as an underdog, but that is part of its identity. This is not a team expected to dominate the tournament. It is a team expected to fight, stay organized, protect its moments, and believe that one goal, one save, or one brave performance can change everything. So when New Zealand steps onto the pitch, remember this. You are not only watching 11 players, you are watching a country of mountains, coastlines, Maori culture, lamb, seafood, quiet landscapes, long-distance dreams, and the All Whites carrying calm underdog energy onto the world stage. And that was one group from the 2026 FIFA World Cup. 4 countries, each carrying something different, different languages, different foods, different songs, different histories, different football dreams. This is what makes the World Cup beautiful. It is not only about who wins, it is about how the world gathers in one tournament. A flag becomes more than a flag, a team becomes more than 11 players, and a match becomes more than 90 minutes. Now, when you see these countries on the World Cup screen, they will not feel like simple names in a group. They will feel like places, like people, like cultures, like stories. And tonight you learned one more part of the World Cup,